Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a May book wrap-up. Pretty exciting. I did manage to read 4 books. I'm pretty sure only one of them was on my TBR from last month, so you can tell how well I follow along with my plans. But anyway, I did end up reading 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott. I gave it 4 stars. It was a really good book. It had a lot of great relationships, and it went into more than just Stella and Will, the main 2 characters. It did talk a lot about different consequences and especially grief throughout the book. It's actually a surprising turn that I wasn't expecting. And the characters themselves had a lot of relationships with other people in the book, such as Barb and Julie, who were nurses in the ward where Stella and Will were staying for their cystic fibrosis. It is a love story, that's no spoilers there because it is essentially in the little synopsis example right here in the book. They fall in love, but obviously they can't be close together 5 feet apart. They actually have to stay 6 feet apart because with cystic fibrosis, there's different bacteria in everyone, and if one person with cystic fibrosis has a bacteria and they're used to it, then another person will have a different one, and if they come into contact, they can actually trade their bacteria, and that can have up to fatal consequences for both of them because they aren't used to the bacteria that they've been introduced to. So I would definitely recommend this book. It isn't a light love story, obviously, with the cystic fibrosis. It is a fatal disease. We've made a lot of strides in keeping people alive for decades with it, but it still is a little sad in this book, so be aware for that, but it is great. The second book I read, actually all the rest of the books I read were digital books. I got them from my library as ebooks. It's amazing. So I read a graphic novel called The Prince and the Dressmaker. It's by Jen Wang, and I gave it 5 stars because it is so cute. It has amazing LGBT representation in there. There is LGBT relationship. There is a whole lot of talk about gender identity, and not even just gender identity, but self-discovery in general. And it's really nice to see these 2 characters interact and go through different things, and people taking responsibility for their actions and learning from them. So I definitely recommend that, especially since it's Pride Month. I started early for Pride Reads. I couldn't help it. I found it, and I just had to read it. So I read it in May, and yeah, I would definitely recommend this. The next book I read is Birthday, which is by Meredith Russo, who is a trans author herself. This book I gave 4 stars, and it follows Eric and Morgan over 6 birthdays from 12 to 18, and as they go through their experiences with gender and sexuality, especially Morgan. And it has a great dynamic. The story type with it one day every year is really interesting to see how the characters grow, and it doesn't feel as abrupt as a lot of stories with this style are, so I really liked that. And I would definitely recommend it if you need a good LGBT plus read, especially if you need some trans representation in there. And the final book I read this month is going to be Dragon Pearl by Yoon Ha Lee. I gave it 4.5 stars. It has amazing Asian mythology, folklore examples in here. It's about a fox spirit who goes on an adventure/rescue mission in space. Her name is Min, and it's just amazing to see. It's almost like a coming of age story, even though it only happened within probably a month or 2, probably even less than that actually, but it was just amazing to see her grow and see the experiences she had with other people with all of this different mythology and folklore. I've always been really interested in that, but it's nice to see a book that actually has this kind, rather than Rick Riordan, who actually presented this book to try to get less represented cultures out into the world. He writes a lot of Greek mythology, which is super popular, of course. So it was nice to see this, and I mean, I love foxes, so a book about fox spirits is going to be a great book for me. And then for my next reads in June, I am doing a Pride-a-Thon along with my Amino that I lead, which is Bookworms Amino. And the event team there created a Pride-a-Thon, so you read 1 book for every color of the Pride flag. I don't have a book for red yet, but I am going to find that on or actually I do have a book for red. I'm going to read Ash by Melinda Lowe, and it is like an LGBT version of Cinderella. And I'm really excited because I love Cinderella. I love books with LGBT representation, so I'm hoping that one is a 4 or 5 star read for me. And red means life on the color of the flag, and then orange means healing. I'm going to read A Little Princess by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I never watched the full movie, but I really enjoyed it, and I found this at a garage sale for like 50 cents, and so I decided, yeah, let's get it and actually read it. It's a short little book. I think it's about 240 pages, and I'm really excited to actually be able to read this. For yellow, I'm going to read a book that was on my TBR last month that I started and got to like 3 chapters and then got distracted by the ebooks that I was reading. Yellow is Sunshine, and I'm going to be reading The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I don't know how much sunshine is in this book, but we're going to find out. For green, which is nature, I'm going to read Snowflower and the Secret Fan by Lisa C. It is set in the 19th century in China, and is about 2 women who trade messages on a fan so that other people can't read them or find them, I believe. And there's a lot of 19th century Chinese culture that it talks about in here, so I'm really excited to read that. And then for blue, which is harmony, I have Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I have been wanting to read this for so long. It's by Benjamin Alir Sayans, and I found it at a garage sale for 50 cents as well, and as soon as I saw it, I picked it up. I was like, how much is this? 50 cents, slapped those quarters down and left. And then for purple, I'm going to give myself a challenge on top of all these books to read this thick boy. It's Plum Island by Nelson DeMille, and it is about, I think it's about an island where some people were shot, and they're biologists, and there's some, like, biological warfare thing that they were working on this island, and they have to figure out who's trying to take it or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't really give me a whole lot on the back, so we're gonna dive into this one and find out. Hopefully I'll read all of these, unlike last month, and I'll read this, and then I'll know, and I can tell you guys. So anyway, if you want to join the Pride-a-Thon, go ahead and make a video with your TBR. Each color is a different meaning. The books don't have to follow the meaning, they just have to have the color on the cover. So with that, I'll put the colors down below with their meanings so you can copy them and make your own Pride-a-Thon TBR. And you can join Bookworms Amino on the Amino app and find it there. So thank you for watching. I can't wait to see if any of you do the Pride-a-Thon as well. And happy Pride, and I'll talk to you guys all next week. Bye-bye.